Welcome to Beyond the Lab, a series by the Office of Career Development within the Biomedical Research, Education, and Training Department of the Vanderbilt University School of Medicine. My name is Kate Stewart, and I'm here today with Kim Lickteig. Thank you so much for coming. You were in cell biology when you were here?
Correct. I was in David Miller's lab.
Yeah, so tell me about your time here at Vanderbilt.
I was here from 1995 to 2000 and worked with C. elegans and did developmental neuroscience with David.
Okay, what did you do after that?
I immediately went into industry. I had a job out in the Bay Area where I went and worked on the bench with a bunch, about 30-some C. elegans scientists, where the company was founded on using invertebrate systems to look at human diseases. So I worked with probably about 100 invertebrate scientists when I was out there. So it was a great first experience.
Okay, what do you do now?
I now have transitioned through my career, and I'm in regulatory affairs. I work at Takeda Pharmaceuticals in the Chicago area and work in the area of global regulatory affairs.
What does that mean? What do you do?
So my job is to work with cross-functional teams to get compounds to a point where they can go into the clinic to be tested in humans, and then taking them through the whole clinical development process, and then having marketing applications. So applications so drugs can be on the market and be sold, and people can get prescriptions from their physician to be able to take those. And then it continues on through, after they're approved, there's still another life cycle that exists after that.
Okay, so why is this a good fit for you personally, this job?
So I've had several different career, changes while I've been in industry, and I find it's a right balance of the science and meeting patient needs. So I think that's the sole reason where I found that right balance for myself personally.
Okay, so if someone was going to follow you into work tomorrow, what would they see? What are some of the things that you do all day?
So I spend a lot of time in meetings working with those cross-functional teams, whether it's a one-on-one basis or working with, a dozen people. A lot of telecons, in-person meetings. Also writing, reviewing documents that will go to the agencies, whether they go immediately or at a later time. And then there's always the crises when the agency comes and asks us questions. And that's another thing that becomes top priority. I may think I'm doing something one day, and when that comes in, that becomes top priority to meet their needs and their requests.
Okay. Tell me about some of the skills that you had to obtain to be a really good fit for this job that maybe you didn't get in your graduate or even postdoc training.
So, learning the regulations, guidances, the jargon of regulatory affairs is something I've learned on the job. I didn't have any formal training. I went to a course or two after I had my position, learned a lot from colleagues that way. Other things, just along my way, I've learned the drug development process. That's a huge part of being in the pharmaceutical industry, is learning how you take the concept or the drug, the molecule, and take it into the clinic and gain approval. It's that whole process that is a lifetime of learning, especially as the technology evolves.
Okay, so if a grad student approached you and said, I don't know, maybe I'm interested in regulatory, what do I need to be thinking about? What would you tell them that they should be, kind of keeping in mind if they make that decision?
Yeah, I think a lot of thinking about going into regulatory, I think it's a detail-oriented position. It also, good communication skills, knowing, when to interject, being able to put your point across, especially if your point's contrary to where the team is. I think those are things to think about. Sometimes it's not the most glamorous position, but it's a very critical position for pharma. So I think it's important to have a well-rounded background, because you also deal with lots of different subject matter experts. So knowing at least some of that detail amongst those different areas is quite critical. So it's a place where you can sit and touch on lots of different areas of the science, as opposed to I'm just in one, part, which that's some of the part I enjoy. And I'm constantly learning. There's, new things, and every compound I've worked on is a little different. So there's continual learning, which is another thing I enjoy with that. And I think that's something you have to want to do and continue doing.
Yeah. So you were talking about what you enjoy. What is your favorite part about your job? Like, what is maybe a favorite project or highlight or something that has happened that you just really love?
Yeah. I like those, there's big wins and there's small wins in my job. So the small wins are those quick questions from the agency and you convince them of your point. Because, as a company, we look and we think of things long and hard to make sure we're making the right decisions for the safety of patients. And when an agency may not have all the information, they'll come back and ask us a question. And being able to then present them with that data, those are little wins and you're like, yes, okay, they agree. And then there's the big ones. I've been involved with an approval, and that was very exciting. I was, not the lead, but I was, a team player on that, and that was very exciting to be part of that thing. So just those, little approvals, whether they're little or big, from the agencies are always a great accomplishment.
Okay, so do you have to do a fair set of networking, share your fair share of networking in your role? Like, do you have any networking strategies that you want to share?
I think, a lot of it is, keeping in contact with those you've gone to school with, worked with, and, keeping that open mind. And, whether it's if you're in town where they live, making sure you connect with them by email, that sort of thing. So I'd say those are the biggest, just keep those people close. And, there's a lot of reaching out to them to help you, even if it's a friend of a friend, and them opening the doors and then you being able to, shine once you get that opportunity.
Yeah. What are some of the words of wisdom that you would give current PhD students and postdocs as they're about to just jump into the career search for any field?
I say be open. Everyone has their fit of what career they would like, and it's okay to try different things and to meet people, do informational interviews, talk to people about what they do, or maybe if you have sort of an idea, maybe they have a friend that does that. So just keep an open mind as you go forward and explore those different possibilities, but keep building your skill sets to make yourself marketable for whatever you might want to do.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.